Salute you, I salute you, I salute you. I salute my fathers, my mothers, I salute my brothers and my sisters. I salute my friends, I salute my family. I say, God bless you all. Thank you so much for coming in to join. Yes, welcome to Arise Conversations. It's the new season of my TV talk show series on Arise Conversations. I am Her Royal Highness Princess Moradion Adedoyin-Solarin, the host and the producer of the show. And my team, I'd like to say big thank you to my technical team who've been working so furiously behind the scenes. Olabisi Obadara, my baby sister, and her own crew. They are of World of Vu. So thank you so much for tuning in. Today is my birthday, as you know. I want to say big thank you. I appreciate you all for the kind messages, the prayers, the lovely greetings, photographs, all kinds of beautiful emojis. Some of you made me laugh. It was just amazing. I want to thank you. And may we all be celebrated by the special grace of God, Olodumare. Now, today, I'm making it a platform that we can really dig deep. We're going to be really digging deep, looking into stuff, examining things. What is life? What exactly is life? Why are we here? What are we doing here? Who are we as humans? What is the role of ourselves in nature, in the universe, concerning medicine, science, arts, quantum physics, inventions, innovations, technology, designs, arts, entertainment? The list goes on. Our well-being, our health, religion, faith, spirituality. What is it that all this that the Creator has put in the universe for us? What is it all about? What are those elements? Water, fire, air, the earth, the soil. And who are we again? The question comes back again. Who are we as humans? So today I'm bringing it from the viewpoint of Yorubas, because first and foremost, I'm a Yoruba. I'm a human being, of course, but I'm of Yoruba lineage. I'm a direct granddaughter of a king. So I'm very, rooted in my tradition and my culture. I'm a cultural ambassador, apart from, my other caps that I wear. And this past year has given me reason to ponder and think, the COVID hit all of us like a bolt of lightning. It was like a wake-up call, really. And I believe that COVID is like a messenger. What message did COVID bring? What is it telling us? Are we just hearing and not listening? There's something that is happening that we need to be awakened. And if we had woken before and fell asleep, we need to be reawakened. So I need all of us, you and me, each and every one of us, to be woke, to be able to start asking questions, seek knowledge. Knowledge is out there for all of us. It is not sacred, as some of us might have thought. If you seek, you will find. And also, all the faiths say the truth will set us free. So we need to start seeking this truth. So right now, I'm going to shut up because I'm going to talk about my amazing guest. This amazing lady, some of you might have seen her photographs and a bit of her video clips when I did the promo for the past 2 weeks. She is a UK trained lawyer, so she's a legal mind, and she practiced law for many years before she went on to do other things, the things that she's doing now. She's an Ifa priestess, yes. She was born and raised in the UK, so she is very versed with the English language, but she's also very versed with Yoruba language as well. She's a wife, she's a mother, she's a herbalist because she also went to study herbal medicine, the use of roots of herbs and how natural products can help us gain our health back or prevent us from getting ailments and getting sick. She's just a bundle of all kinds of amazing things, this amazing woman. She's also the founder of Ifadiwura Temple in the UK. But right now, she is beaming straight with us all the way from Nigeria in West Africa. And I'm happy to present to you my sister, my friend, our amazing guest, Iyanifa Bola Ogundari Eleagu. So I'd love us to bring her on, and we'll be asking her questions and hopefully getting to know about who she is and how she ended up being an Ifa priestess. So can studio please bring us our amazing guest? Can I have her on with me, please? Thank you so much. And if you know anybody, please help us share. People that want to watch with us, they just need to go on to the Princess of Arize page. That's my Facebook page, and just like the page. So click on the like button, and you'll be able to receive notifications of the live broadcasts, both for the one we're doing right now and the subsequent ones for the next 12 weeks, which makes a quarter. I'm just waiting for the studio. Wow, there she is. Thank you so much. I know you're very busy. I know that you're super busy, but you know, I spoke to you. You were very kind and very amiable, and you said yes, you will make the time to spend
Yes.
an hour with us today. So I want to first of all thank you for sharing the book. Thank you so much. As you
Ifaloshion.
honored me, may Olodumare, God Almighty, honor you too.
Ashe, Ashe, Ashe.
So before we kick off, I'd also like you to just do a prayer for us, an iwuri, as we call it in Yoruba, to set
Yes.
the theme.
Okay. So the first thing, first of all, before I start, I'm still gonna come back to it, Princess. But I just want to say happy birthday. I'm
Oh,
honored to be on this show, and thank you so much for counting me worthy to come online and actually do this show with you. Um, I pray that I can meet up to the task.
thank
So
you so much.
we always say "Ìbà kọ́kọ́ kato ṣohun gbogbo." So for that reason, let us pay homage. I will start in Yoruba, and then I will do it in English if that's okay.
Thank you,
So
ma'am.
Ìbà Elédùmarè, Ìbà kọ́dá, Ìbà ṣẹ̀dá, Ìbà ẹ̀ṣọ́ láàlú, ìbẹ̀yìn ìyá mi òfìlò ọ̀pá kí ọ̀là kí alágógó dẹ, ìbà ifá olókun àsọ̀rọ̀dayọ̀, ẹlẹ́rìí ìpín àtórí ẹni tí ò sún wọn ṣe, ìbà ọ̀ṣun ọ̀ṣẹ̀ǹgẹ̀ṣẹ́ ìyá mi ládékojú ẹbọra tí ń gbé nínú omi, ìbà yémọjá yémọta àṣà ìyá mi gbàlùbọ́sà kó fi rò fọ́ yémọjá yé, ìbà ògún lákàáyé òlómíléfẹ̀jẹ̀ ènìyàn wẹlẹ̀ òláṣọ́lé fìmọ̀kìmọ̀ bóra, ìbà ọbàtálá ọbàtárìṣà ọba takuntakun tí bá wọn gbòde ìrànjẹ, ìbà òrìṣà oko kó jẹ́ ká máa rí iná ká máa rí lò ká máa rí jẹ, ìbà gbogbo gbagbarúmọlẹ̀ ojú kọ̀tún, ìbà gbogbo gbagbarúmọlẹ̀ ojú kòsì, ìbà bàbá, ìbà yèyé, ìbà gbogbo babaláwo tí ń ṣeré níwájú fá, ìbà gbogbo ìyá nífá, ìbà gbogbo bàbá lórìṣà, ìbà gbogbo ìyá lórìṣà, ìbà ẹ̀yin náà o, Princess Adedoyin,
Ìbà
má
Ṣẹ̀rù.
bínú ẹ má ní mo larúkọ mọ́ yín lórí o, ìbà yín,
Ìbà Ṣẹ̀rù.
ìbà gbogbo òrìṣà àti egúngún ìdílé bàbá ẹni tìyá ẹni, mo wá júbà lẹ́ni báyìí o, mo júbà gbogbo àwọn àgbààgbà mi pátápátá, mi ò lólódì ẹnikẹ́ni o, kẹjẹ kí bà mí kó wá ṣẹ, wọ́n ní ìbà kì í wọn mọ́ àìṣèbà níwọn ni, mo wọlé mo kágò ẹ má ṣe jẹ́ ń dẹran àmúso o, gbogbo tá a fẹ́ ṣe lẹ́ni báyìí kojú wa ṣe, gbogbo etí tó ń gbọ́ wá báyìí tí náà ò ní di, ojú tẹ fi ń wò wá báyìí o, ojú náà ò ní fọ́, àwa máa túbọ̀ ṣe fún wa, èní báyìí òun náà lẹ́ ń ṣọjọ́ bí Princess ẹ̀ ṣọ̀pọ̀dún láyé, gúnugún kì í kú léwe, ẹ̀ dàgbà ẹ̀ darúgbó kọngẹrẹ, àwa nífẹ̀ẹ́ lè ṣàṣemọ́ o, àwa tá a bẹ̀rẹ̀ ètò yìí náà la máa parí ẹ̀, àwa jẹ́ ìbẹ̀rẹ̀ ohun mìíràn lágbára Elédùmarè àtùbà àtúnṣe fún wa, gbogbo tí mo wí lé ní báyìí àrò àrò mọ torí àbámọ̀dá kan kì í dá tiẹ̀ kó má ṣe, gbogbo tí mo wá dá lábàálẹ̀ ní báyìí àrò ti rọ̀ mọ́ tó àbálẹ̀ èṣù.
Can
Aboru
you now?
Aboye. Yeah, I'm going to go to the English.
Thank you so much.
Okay. I was just saying in Yoruba, thank you to all you viewers. The first thing that we do when we enter into any event, any home, is to pay homage first. Because a child that pays homage will surely harvest until nightfall, as in abundance, in plentiful. That's the meaning of the statement. So I'd like to pay Iba to Eledumare. I don't like to use the word God because it's a bit more than that, but we will come to it in one I think, particular episode of this. I pay homage to Eshu. I pay homage to our mothers, the mothers of mystery, known as Iyami. I pay homage to them because without them as well, none can fulfill anything. I pay homage to Ifa, who is the witness, the silent witness to every single person's destiny. I pay homage to Oshun, the deity of Oshun, who owns the rivers, the sweet rivers, who blesses us with all abundance. I pay homage to Yemoja, who is also the deity of the sea, for everything that we have been bestowed with, because there is no one that wakes up in the morning without using water. So therefore, I pay homage. I pay homage to all the Irumoles on the right hand. I pay all homages to all the Irumoles on the left hand, for they are numerous in numbers. I pay homage to my father, my mother. I pay homage to all my elders. I pay homage to visitors, to the house owners. I pay homage to Princess of Arize for running the show. I pay homage to you all, because without each other, we are nothing. So therefore, I pay homage, and as I pay homage, may all the Rumoles, all the primordial Rumoles, allow us to harvest in abundance. May this program go well and may it be well with us. Ashe.
Aboyibo Shisho, thank you so much indeed
Ogwato.
um, for the opening prayer, the Rui, and also the translation because of our brothers and sisters in the diaspora who do not speak the Yoruba mother tongue. Oh, where's my guest one?
Sorry, I can still hear you. I'm really sorry for the temporary glitch. Will be like a few
Okay, you're there.
seconds
Okay. I just
because
wanted
I'm
to be
in
sure that.
Nigeria. Yeah, sorry. As you know that I'm in Nigeria.
So sometimes I know, sometimes NEPA plays up and all that. So today we're actually, apart from the fact that we want to open up, doors to knowledge, the portal where we can actually access what the Creator has put in place for us, that sometimes because of the various faiths that we embrace, sometimes just simple ignorance, we are not able to tap into the vast portal of knowledge that God has put in place for us. Um, we heard the Anifa, she was saying something about God, and she said, in Yoruba, God it's too little. It's like we revere, the Yorubas revere the Creator bigger than just that three-letter word. We revere Him in sentences. We revere this Creator in awesome and amazing ways. So one of the questions I'm going to ask her is the reasons why the Yorubas, because we know that before the Western civilization came, before we had the influx of the slave traders or the colonizers, there was a way that not only us Yorubas, not only Africans, every tribe across the world, every indigenous tribe had their own ways of worship, had their own ways of fellowshipping, had their own ways of communicating with the spiritual realm and with their creator. So I'm doing this from the angle of the Yoruba because I am Yoruba first and foremost. Then I'm an African. Then I'm a child of the world. I'm not sure whether my guest is back. Studio, can we kindly beam Yanifa back on screen so that we can start asking her the pertinent questions here. We're also, apart from that, we're going to be, I think she's coming back now. Yanifa, when you're with us, please kindly speak so that I know that you're there.
Okay, I'm here, but like I
Oh,
said,
fantastic. So
yes,
first of
you
all,
can't
before I
see
start
me just for a second. Sorry.
okay. Well, I hope that the governments and the leadership in not only Nigeria, but in countries where, they need to be doing stuff, I think looking at this or watching this, they'll know that this is not good at all. There has to be uninterrupted power supply in our country. Those are one of the things that the Creator wants us to look at. Why do we have leadership that is not responsible? Why do we have leadership that finds it difficult to lead as they have promised to when people voted them into office? And on the flip side, Why do us citizens keep voting for people that we know would not even deliver? I always say the blame is not only with the leadership. I think the blame is both ways. So both the leaders and the led both have a role to play when it comes to leadership. And if those roles are played properly, I think our world would be a much better place. Things will work better. We'll be able to learn more from each other and from one another. And leadership is also about service and service to humanity. It's not just about being the big boss or the top dog, or as they say in Nigeria, the oga at the top. It's also about listening to the people that you're representing and ensuring that you hear them clearly and you try your best. Nobody's perfect, so we're not saying anybody should be perfect. The only perfect one is our creator. So I'm hoping and believing that as the show continues and as we continue to have more episodes, you'll see um, I have some very, very potent topics and questions that I'll be fielding to our guests and also to some of our viewers, because you can communicate with us, you can send us information, ask us questions, make your own contribution as well, because it's all about us being able to live our lives, to be able to be happy, to live to the fullest, because that is what the Creator's agenda was for us, and it's still for us to live life to the fullest. And all scriptures, whether you're Christian, Muslim, Buddhist, Jew, traditional, whatever, there are those points in our faiths that lets us know that we are here for a purpose, and that purpose is for us to live our lives to the fullest. So I'm not sure whether our Yanifa, our guest, is back on. I'm just going to like quickly just talk you through the various things that we'll be doing. We'll be visiting a number of topics, as I said. Oh, she's back. Wonderful. So I've just been talking a bit whilst you were gone for a while. So the light is back
Thank
on
you.
and we can see your
Yes.
awesome, beautiful face. Yes. So straight ahead now, so that we don't waste too much time. I just wanted to
Okay.
ask you, can you hear me,
Yes,
Bianifa?
I can. Yes, I
Oh,
can.
wonderful. I just wanted to ask you, which is the first question, because when you prayed, you said you don't like to use the term God for the
Yes, ma'am.
creator. It's an English
Yes.
word, and there's obviously a reason why. So could you explain to us, because a lot of our viewers might be baffled, you know,
Okay.
about that.
So
When I heard it for the first time, I was also baffled.
yeah. So basically, I'll try to break it down in a second, but I'll start off by saying that for us as Yoruba people, Omodudua, and
I'm not
being
sure whether it's my
Ifadivoti.
end or yours. I'm trying to see if I can hear you better.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Uh, Hello, can you speak again?
Hello. Yes, can you hear me?
Okay, okay. I'll strain so I can hear.
Okay. Sorry. So basically, what I was saying is, for me, as a Yoruba descendant, as an Omodudua, and basically as an Ifa devotee, firstly, it's very important that we understand that as a Yoruba people, the word God does not quite magnify enough, if you like to use that word, the meaning of Eledumare. Yeah. So when you look at Olodumare,
Oh,
yeah.
I'm not sure what it is. You'll have to. I could hardly hear you. I'm trying very hard to
Okay.
strain to hear.
Can you hear me
So I'm not
now?
sure whether the studio can do something to help us boost the volume so that we can
Okay.
hear what our guest is saying. I'm not sure because I can't see any buttons here in on my end.
Okay. Can you hear me now, Princess?
Maybe if you can just like project yourself, you're a little bit louder.
Okay. Can you hear me now?
Okay, I think I'm lip reading. I'll lip
Okay.
read.
All right. Sorry. I'm
It's
really
okay.
sorry. I'm kind of
Yeah.
shouting, but I don't know. So
Okay.
basically, what I was saying is that as a Yoruba descendant, as an Omodudua, and as an Ifa devotee, we need to understand that even in terms of our language, Yoruba, the word God does not magnify the extent and the unquantifiable meaning of Olodumare. So when we
You
look at
said
the
the word
word,
God doesn't, the word God doesn't do what?
cannot quantify enough or explain enough, if you like, the meaning of Olodumare. The word God cannot explain well enough the meaning of Olodumare. To use the word God to equate to Olodumare, in my view and in my opinion, would be to lessen the magnitude of who Olodumare is. Yeah. So when we
Okay.
look at the three words together, some people might disagree with me. This is my own explanation. You look at the word Olo, then you look at Odu, then you look at Mari, the owner of all existence in its magnitude. So even when people say to me the creator, it's more than the creator because it's the owner. And that's why I don't use the word God, because I'm still trying
And
to
it's not our
find.
language anyway.
Yes, it's not our
So
language.
so I believe
Yeah.
that sometimes language is also a cause of a lot of confusion, especially when
Yes,
we're talking about
definitely.
indigenous, people, because
Mm-hmm.
everybody's indigenous to from whence they came. So when we've had translations, sometimes words lose the essence, loses the actual meaning in that
Indeed.
particular language. But because the world we live in now, the colonials are the ones that, enforce their languages on us. And therefore, a lot of things have been sadly translated, if I can use that word.
Definitely. Definitely. So I think that, like you were saying, Princess, that the use of language is very, very important, because when we translate or we try to improvise, sometimes what I find from Yoruba to English, one is not our language, two, it loses the essence, so the message is therefore lost. Um, so for things that I feel I cannot find the perfect words, then I would just stick with the word as it is.
Thank you so much for that brief explanation. Thank you indeed.
Yes.
Also, I wanted to now ask you to let us know you. Who is Iyanifa Bola Ogundare Eleagu? Who are you? Who is this
Okay,
mysterious
so
woman who
so I'll
speaks
start off.
English
I'll
language
start off
so
by saying
eloquently
that.
and also speaks Yoruba so beautifully? Who are you?
Thank you, Ma.
Let's get to know you.
Thank you, Ma. Okay. So, as you've rightly said, Princess, my name is, well, the title is Yanifa, is a title, which is a female equivalent of a Babalawo, which is a female priest of Ifa. Um, my name is Omobolanle, and basically, I am a British born and raised lawyer, educated in England. I live in London, but I happen to be in Nigeria at the moment. Um, I don't even know where to start. Basically, as I said, I'm many things. I'm a wife, I'm a mother, I'm a Ifa priestess. I retrained as a herbalist because I felt, and more so a clinical herbalist, that it's important, if you want to do something, do it well. And within Ifa, there are many facets to it: pharmacology, medicine, the sacred science, the philosophy, the spiritual part, the faith itself. So I felt that in order for me to excel in this, I needed to retrain. So I did that. Um, I have been a lawyer in the UK for 11 years before heeding to the court, or shall I say the
Could
service
you
to
say that again?
humanity.
What did you do for 11 years?
I was a lawyer in the UK for
For
11
11
years.
years.
Yes, in different sectors. So I worked in domestic, within family and matrimonial law, so domestic violence specifically. I worked with youth law. I became a stop and search specialist in terms of police brutality and re-educating our community and our young people on their rights. Not saying that the police can't do their job, but without the brutality, and yeah, so many different angles to it. I did this for 11 years. I always was told that when the time came, I would be having to sit down as a full-time Yanifa. But I guess I was just like, it's not going to happen because, you know, I'm educated and this is what I do. And, you
did you
know, the
think they were
rest of
having
it.
a laugh?
Yes, I
Did you
did.
think they were
I
having a
did.
laugh?
Yes, I did. You know, and I resisted for 3 years and I went through tranquility, don't let me say otherwise, until I had to do what if and what I've been born and destined to do. So, you know, I worked in various sectors, including the NGO. Before yielding to this service to humanity, I even tried to keep practicing law part-time whilst I was doing the IFA part-time. But IFA would not have a bar of it and, you know, put me through good times, let's say it like that. But today I'm grateful um, for who I am and to be able to serve humanity truthfully and honestly. And I'm grateful to all my elders who have been a huge part of this journey, without whom I couldn't have achieved this. I'm grateful to Ifa. Yeah.
So for how long have you now been a full-fledged Yanifa?
Since, so now we're 2011, 11 years.
11 years.
Yes.
And how would you compare this journey as a full-time priestess from the years that you were a lawyer? And it seems they're both 11 years. That one was 11 years, wasn't it, as well?
Yeah.
Isn't
Yeah.
that
So,
interesting?
you know, I know I didn't even think about it till you said it now. But basically, I think that there is no comparison, because what I want to say is that obviously having been a practicing lawyer has helped me in this, you know, in being of service to humanity. Because when people bring many matters, yes, Ifa is the ultimate wisdom, but it, you know, sometimes when people have issues with cases and things like that, and they're not sure of processes, having been a lawyer, it allows me to be able to explain things to them. Sometimes things that they ignore, you know, on a legal, you know, basis, where they'll seek my advice as well as Ifa. So I feel there's no comparison, because one thing I've learned is that even if you're a king, you must bow down, even if it's in the inner room, before Ifa. So Ifa is king, you know, in all things. Whatever profession, whatever facets of life you find yourself, you know, as my people say, Isheshe Lagba, the tradition is the master. Um, so you know, at first when I resisted, I felt like, why did you allow me to be educated if you knew that this is what you're going to eventually do with me, to have to sit on the mat and do those things as part of my resistance anyway. But at the same time, I'm grateful for my education. I'm grateful for my journey. I'm grateful for the knowledge and the wisdom and that I wish I continue to seek for, because learning Ifa is until your very last breath. You know, is that enormous? So yeah, I don't. I'm not sure that I can compare it, but it's a life of peace. It's a life of tranquility. It's one when you are truly fulfilled to be able to serve humanity. I mean, being a lawyer, I was serving humanity too. So both is the same, you know, thing in terms of the wording, but in terms of magnitude, it cannot compare.
Thank you so much. I also, and thank you for, clearly explaining, those both roles, your role as a lawyer and what also you've been doing as an Iyanifa. Now, even though you have explained briefly why we Yorubas, we refer to, the Olodumare as Olodumare,
Yes.
is he the same? Is this Olodumare? Is it the same as the Christians God, or the Muslims Allah, the Jews Yahweh, the Buddhists Buddha, the Krishna? Is it this, is it the
Um,
same,
I
or
think that
how do we?
there's something that needs to be broken down. It's just like
Sorry.
I said there's something that needs to be broken down, and
Okay.
that is just like when you talk about orishas, for example, Erumole, there are some comparisons, but when you talk about Olodumare and then you talk about the Christian God or the Allah for Muslims, without any disrespect, there is a huge difference.
There's a huge
Without
difference.
meaning, yes, there's a huge difference without meaning any disrespect. And I think quite often it's a hard conversation to have, but one which I'm always open to having. And people tend to take it the wrong way. Sometimes I feel like the colonial masters and Abrahamists, we've been led down a road that we are not allowed to question, that we are just supposed to follow. And when you look at the God of, in terms of Christianity and Islam, Allah, and then you look at Olodumare of us Yoruba and Ifa devotees, you realize that by following certain other paths and not being allowed to call Olodumare, which is the right name, it takes away an essence, a huge level of essence and power from the individual being to be able to tap in to a spiritual portal.
Thank you so much for clarifying that. Another question I'm going to pose is, what does spirituality really mean? No, that is a question for another time. Actually, what
Okay.
I wanted to ask is, the pandemic.
Okay.
The
Okay.
pandemic.
So, okay.
The past year has jolted everybody, no matter who you are. COVID came as a respecter of no one. It didn't care whether you were old, young, rich, poor, male, female, didn't care of the color of your skin or from whence you came. It didn't care whether you were Christian, Muslim, traditionalist. It didn't care. If we're trying to refer to COVID as a being, sort of.
Yeah.
And my belief is that COVID must have come with a big message.
Yes.
Now, is humanity listening? And have we learned from this past 1 year? Because there's been a lot of casualties, really. So, as somebody who's a lawyer, obviously, so you know about legal implications, but also you are well versed in Ifa, so you know about spirituality. You're a diviner, you're a seer, you hear, and you're a spiritualist. What, from your own findings, your personal findings, what would you say? I know, obviously, COVID must have brought a lot of messages and has come to teach us a lot of lessons. But could you
Definitely.
just name like 3 congent lessons that you
Okay.
believe?
So, I'll start by saying that there was a lot of Odufa casted by different and various elders, including myself, including my own temple,
I'm
about.
trying so hard to hear you. You were saying,
Okay,
ma'am?
can you hear me better now?
No, I think it's probably my device. I think it's my
Okay.
device.
Okay. So what I was saying is that for me, let me start off by, in terms of COVID, to say that a lot of elders within the Ifa community have casted Ifa and gotten different odus about COVID and the message that COVID has come with. Now, they're very numerous in numbers. And I've also done a casting, and my temple have done a casting in terms of Ojufa about COVID. But without going too much and because of timing, what I would say is, for me, 3 key messages is that COVID came to teach us that we need to live as opposed to existing. Can you hear me?
COVID came to
Teach us that we need to live.
teach us.
Yes, that we need to live as opposed to existing.
We need to hear.
We need to live.
LIVE.
Yes, as opposed to
We need to live.
existing. Yes, in as opposed to existing. as opposed to existing. Instead of existing, we need to actually live.
Right. So, sorry, I had to put my ear to the phone.
Yeah.
So instead of existing, one of the
Yes.
lessons COVID came to teach us is that we need to live, to actually
Yes.
live and live
Yes.
life to the fullest.
Yes. Yes. And also, COVID came to teach us that we need to return to our tradition. As a Yoruba people, I know that affected everybody, like you said, regardless of your height, your weight, your color of your skin, what country you live in, where you're a descendant of. But for Yoruba people and Ifa, it taught us that we need to return to our traditions. Did you hear me, Ma?
It's it, it's very no. You said that as Yoruba people, the message that we got from Ifa as Yoruba people is
Yeah,
that we need to
that
return
we need to return to our tradition.
so basically to return to our traditional way of
Yes, our
life.
traditional way of life. Stop demonizing our own tradition. Because
Would
when you look at herbs, like from a medicinal perspective, herbs have been created, from since the beginning of this Ile this earth. And when we look at Mother Earth is what we all find here and what we will all leave behind. When we look at herbs, it is for the benefit of us as human beings, humankind. A lot of people will turn around and say, in terms of herbs, ewe and egogi, that it is fetish. How can something that can heal your body
that
be fetish?
that was going to be my next question, that you know people of either that are not into traditional way of worship or traditional way of life would probably refer to that. Not even probably, they will definitely refer to that as being fetish. I mean, somebody like yourself, they probably refer to you as a witch doctor,
Oh yeah.
whatever that means. But that, of course, we know is very Nollywood.
Mm-hmm.
That's probably a Nollywood sort of concept,
Mm-hmm.
because when we have people like yourself who are Caucasians, we have them here in the
Mm-hmm.
UK that I know of. I've met some of them in the US, in various other countries. In as much as their skin is Caucasian, they would not give them a black or label. They would not label them. Oh yes, they're practicing natural medicine. So there will be
Yes.
a word for
Yes.
it. That's why earlier we were talking about the use of language and how things
Yes.
can be misconstrued depending on first of all who is saying it and how it's being said.
Said, yeah.
So those are two lessons you've now mentioned. What is the third one you would
Okay.
say COVID came
So the
to
third
teach
one for
us?
me, COVID, before you know, orthodox medicine came in. Again, it still goes back to medicine or herbal medicine. We had what is known from our ancestors as Yoruba people, what we called awo shokmono. So even when you look at incisions, people will tell you that our incisions, bere is fetish, right? So when you look at those that were awo shokmono and they still exist till tomorrow, which is Obaluaye. Obaluaye is what some people call the deity of smallpox and
I was shocked
diseases.
on.
However, yes, awo shokmono. So when we look at inoculation, before injections
Yes,
were created,
inoculation
our
or
Shokono dealt
vaccines.
with inoculations, right? Yeah. So in the traditional way, and this is why I guess it goes back to my second point, that we need to go back to our traditional way of life. There is healing in nature for us all. And for me, in adding to the third point, a lot of people forget that health is wealth. So again, it goes back to the first pointer. that you need to live and not just exist. That as the world, COVID came to teach us that we shouldn't wait for something to happen before we build up our bodies and ourselves.
So COVID came to teach us that we need to live and not just to exist.
Yes,
And you mentioned about the inoculation. I think it's now
yes,
what is now called vaccinations, but back in the day it used to be called
yes,
inoculation. And
yes,
I
yes,
read in a book somewhere, maybe I got it from my dad many years ago, that actually the art of vaccination is actually inherently ours. It's something that we've
yes,
been
it is.
doing from ancient times. Even
Yes,
though it's been modernized now, it's been the medicine is being put in a syringe and in a
yes,
needle and is injected into the
yes,
body. Back then,
yes,
there will be blades that will cut,
yes,
put incisions in the body, and they would have had the herbs and the roots, whatever it is that's supposed to help heal that
yes,
person, and they will then rub it
would take on.
into. And when you talked about shopono, for people who don't understand what shopono is, sometimes it could also be smallpox or one of the poxes
Yes,
that used to be
yes,
very prevalent back in the day. And the way that
yes,
our ancient herbalists and medicine people dealt with it, I think they're the ones called the Olosoins, if I'm correct.
yes. So,
The,
okay. So, Osfanyi is the deity that governs herbs and medicinal and healing. So, a lot of people, when
that
I'm
governs
talking about
herbs
Obaluaye, yes, governs herbs and healing. So, when we talk
and
about
healing.
Osfanyi, we say Osfanyi, yes, we say Osfanyi, Baba mi, agba ọ̀pá lọ́wọ́ olókùnrùn ṣàánú. So he's the person
Can you can you
that
can you
helps the
translate that?
weak.
What does that
Yes,
mean?
so Osonyi, our father, who takes away the stick like a walking stick from someone who is feeble and sick to heal them and to have, I don't like the word mercy, let's use the word mercy on them to heal them. Because when you take away a walking stick, for example, from somebody who's elderly or feeble, to give them mercy is to heal that person that they no longer need that walking stick.
So basically, they've gotten their healing. They don't need to walk with a stick anymore.
Yes, yes.
That's
So, and
amazing.
yeah, so when we talk about Obaluaye, the reason why I mentioned Obaluaye, there's been a lot of demonization about
Is Obaluaye
Shokono.
the
When people hear
same as
Shokono,
Shopono?
yes.
The same.
So, yes, it is.
Okay.
So
I'm
when
just
we talk
asking for
about,
clarity because of our viewers
yeah,
so that
sure.
they know.
I understand. So a lot of the reason why I mentioned about Obaluaye is that people have refused before COVID, as far as I'm concerned, to understand that even though people say that Obaluaye is of smallpox and diseases and famine, he's also of healing. And so when you fail to listen, you are forced to hear. So with Obaluaye, there's been a lot of demonization that Obaluaye, when Yoruba people, a lot of Yoruba people have come across, hear the word Shopono, they're like, oh my God, Shoponoke, and all this stuff. So, but Obaluaye is not a negative thing. There's many attributes positively to the deity Obaluaye, which is also known as Shopono.
So why would you? Because this is very common with when it comes to indigenous way of life. It doesn't only happen to Yorubas. I
Yeah.
mean, various other African countries as well. I've been to Angola, South Africa. There's that same divide, and even the Native Americans. There's that same divide. Even the people that are from the Arctic Circle. A lot of our people don't know that people from the Arctic Circle, from Green, they also have their own traditional way, and that's why they prefer to keep to their indigenous way. How about
Yeah.
Japan? Japan has their Shinto. Japan, for instance, and there's a reason why I'm raising Japan with you today, because I would love your views on that. Japan is
Okay.
a nation, it's just a collection of archipelagos. So it's a very tiny nation. Japan had bombs thrown on it twice. Hiroshima, Nagasaki, atomic bombs. So the country was razed to nothing, was totally ruined. How come they were able, that tiny country, were able to rebuild back their nation and rise up to become one of the G7, one of the leading, you know, the main faith that they practice is their traditional faith, which is the Shinto, which is similar to our own Yoruba Ifa or the Igbo
Yeah.
Afa.
Okay.
So
Thank
how
you so
come
much for that question,
we,
Princess.
sorry, ma'am. So
I
what I
said
wanted
thank you
your
very
views.
much for
How
that very
come?
important question. So let me start in a very odd way to answer your question. When you go to a Chinese restaurant or Japanese restaurant, where a lot of Yorubas, both home and abroad, spend the majority of their money because we like their food, you go inside, before he will attend to you at the door of their restaurant, you will see their own Orisha there. He will feed that Orisha before he even attends to you. I've never seen a Yoruba person or an African person walk into a Chinese or Japanese restaurant and go, oh my God, I'm not eating here, it's fetish. But if I was doing Abula, Amala restaurants, and you saw Shango at the door, I know the next thing I will hear from my people is blood of Jesus, oh haram, or something like this. Àṣà aláṣà ló máa ń yá wa lára. Ẹ̀sìn ẹlẹ́sìn, aṣọ aláṣọ, èdè elédè. This is the reason, because when you look at Japan, they give ultimate reverence to their orishas, to their irumoles, which is missing from us. For me, it is also part of COVID's message, which is why I say we need to return to our traditional way of life. And Iyawa World of VOO said something very interesting, which I loved yesterday on our broadcast in preparation for today's show, for which I thank her for. She said, when somebody is sick or something's wrong with them, they've tried it medically, church, mosques, they can't find a way. They will tell you, "Ejekatese lebo," go back to your tradition
What
and
does that
seek
mean?
the
Could you translate
solution.
that, because we are aware that we have numerous people
Okay,
watching with us
so when they
who don't
say,
speak Yoruba?
right, when they say etese lebo, it means there's no solution medically, Abrahamically, or otherwise. Go back to your traditional way and seek a solution. And most of the time, 100% of the time, that is true. Ifa, which is also Afa in Igbo land, right? Um, but, pardon me, Princess, I'm just going to sing a song and then I'll translate the song.
Okay.
Wọ́n ní ohun abínibí o bínibí ká má gbàgbé o. Ohun
Ohun
abínibí o
abínibí o,
bínibí o ká má
ká má
gbàgbé o.
gbàgbé o.
Ọ̀rúnmìlà ti kórè kórè bọ̀ onífà níṣẹ̀ṣe. Gbogbo ẹlẹ́sìn wọ̀nyí ti mọ̀ pé Ifá lolórí. Gbogbo ẹlẹ́sìn wọ̀nyí ti mọ̀ pé Ifá lolórí. Bọ́rọ̀ bá dùn wọ́n o, wọn ó tọ́ Ifá wá. Bọ́rọ̀ bá dùn wọ́n o, wọn ó tọ́ Ifá wá. Bọ́rọ̀ bá dùn wọ́n o, wọn ó tọ́ Ifá wá. It's a very long song, but I just took a piece of it. So what I'm saying is that what you are born with, the ways of your tradition, the ways of your ancestors, the way of your lineage is different from a man's ability by themselves. All these colonial masters, Abrahamist religion, are aware that Orunmila, our leader and most revered in Ifa, has brought all ire, all blessings. And they are aware that Ifa is the truth. When their matters have no solution, they have no choice but to return back to Ifa.
Wow. But how, also this has to do with a lot of um brainwashing of many, many
Exactly.
years.
Oh,
So
exactly.
there's some of us that have been, raised in Christian homes or Muslim homes, And that is what we know. That's what we've grown up with. And even though sometimes, because we all know that we're spirit beings and we all operate with energy, and sometimes, the energy in you is like tugging at you to
Yeah.
go and study a bit more about where you're from. But maybe maybe the embarrassment, or maybe the people are going to condemn them if they outwardly show that, oh, I've now embraced the ways of my forefathers, I've now gone back to my own traditional belief system. How is it that we can get out of that blockage in the mind?
First and foremost, for me, Princess, I always say to people, you have to challenge your own mindset. Ask yourself the question first: where do your own ways of life, spiritually and otherwise, come from? Is it from what you know to be the truth, or from what has been brainwashed into you and repeated into you? A lot of times I meet people, some Christian, some Muslim, and otherwise, they tell me that my pastor said. I now ask them, what do you say? You know, we have been conditioned in this way to not ask questions. To challenge our mindset is rude. You cannot lie to yourself. There are basic things that you can do. And on one of the shows, I believe it's a question for another time in this side, that there are certain things you mentioned about the elements earlier that you can use to test if you really want to know if these things are real or not. Do not, we're in a day and age where the information is out there. Don't let anybody fool you. Nobody can no longer fool you. You can only fool yourself. For example, water, you can add it to your iwure. Learn to start to individualize your life. Spirituality is different to religion. It's your own personal walk. No one can tell you it's right or wrong. And we'll come on to that, which I know that it's a question for another time. But I just mentioned it because it's relevant to the question you asked me. But first and foremost, it seems like a simple thing, Princess. What I will beg everyone to do is challenge your own mindset. Sit down and really question, who are you? Are you living the life you want to live? Do you really know yourself? Do you know your gifts? Do you believe that without a pastor, an imam, or even an Ifa priest, that you can do it and arrive by yourself? Because unless you challenge your mindset, if you just say, okay, let's do Iwure, this is what you can do to be awoke, get in touch with nature, do this, do that, you will always revert back to your old self when it gets hard. But if you challenge your mindset first, even through the tough times, you can only press forward. And for those who are, a lot of Abrahamic religion has taught us about condemnation. What would the world say? What do they say about me? This, that, that, that. Oh no, I can't. What will my family say? People will cut me off and disown me. Like they said, if you can't beat them, join them. Right?
Mm.
I disagree with that. All this joining them is what has led so many people that in their 80s, 90s, 70s, 60s, and they've actually gotten to realize that they've never actually lived. They've just been coexisting, not even
That's
existing, but
existing.
coexisting on this earth plane. When I speak to a lot of elders in their 70s, 80s, with no disrespect to them, it makes me to know who I never want to become, what I
Mm.
never want to become. So for me, the first step is to challenge your mindset. Sit down and ask yourself the basic question. If your enemy was on death's door today, would the same people you're scared of condemning you, could they save your life? Could they give
Awesome.
you back life?
One of our viewers they're saying water has memory. We're talking about the elements.
Yes, yes, yes,
I know we're going to
yes,
like expatiate more on the elements
yes,
at another stage, because
yes,
I'm looking
definitely.
at the time
Yeah.
and I don't want you to keep you too long. We started a bit late, so we're going to run over a little bit. but not
Yes,
too
sure.
much because I know that
No
you
problem.
need to also go and attend to the family. Now,
Yes, thank you.
let me bring you back again to what we learn in modern times. So, for instance, we're being taught in modern times, the times that we live in now, that we have transformational coaches, we have lifestyle gurus, etc. And from them, we learn very similar things to what you've also touched on and what you'll be touching on as the series goes on. But this particular one is about the laws of attraction, the laws of attraction, which a lot of transformational gurus and lifestyle coaches teach about, which are based on obviously principles. They're just like
Yeah.
age old, ancient principles. So can we then liken these teachings also to the power to manifest in our
Yes,
own belief system? Do we have that, the power of manifestation in our own belief system?
definitely. We have the ultimate power of manifestation, which is why when people tell me, what is Iwure? Iwure is not a prayer. A prayer is I'm asking and I'm hoping I'm going to get. Iwure is an affirmation, it's an affirmation, it is ashe. It is commanding the elements, commanding your ori, your spirit being, that I want this and so shall it be. It's stamped, it is done.
I'm happy you said that, but I'm also going to flip the coin here because
Yeah,
we don't want people to think they can just sit at home, cross their legs, do nothing, and keep commanding things to happen. So
yes,
can you also
yeah,
expatiate on that because we don't want people to get it wrong?
yes, sure. So when it comes to doing Iwure, it as an Ifa devotee, as an Iyanifa, there is a way that we do Iwure. And there is a process you go through to have your ashe, which is the power of manifestation. So it's not just something, it lies within us all. We all have an ashe. But you have to go through a process and learn. And thus in learning to unlearn certain things to be able to have that authority of manifestation, that power of manifestation. Um, but what I wanted to also say, based on what you asked me, the first tenet of Ifa is Iwakbele. Iwakbele means
I'm so
good
happy. I'm
character.
so happy you said that.
Right. Iwakbele means good character. That's the first thing you must do. Now, I have heard so many times from my father, from my elders, that Iwakbele is something that can take you your whole life to acquire and just
Hmm.
1 second to lose. It's like, pardon if my elders are online. I'm not trying to undermine the meaning of it, but I'm just trying to break it down to explain it. Iwakbele, if you like, is like when you're playing a game, right? And it's like a lifeline. So Iwakbele, you have to collect so many lifelines to get there. And you can lose all of that lifeline in just 1 split second by
Oh
the way
wow.
you react to a situation, by the way you handle a situation, so many different areas to it. So Iwakbele is something that you constantly, over time, daily, every hour, every second, have
So
to
it's
acquire
like we need to
and
keep
to
working
maintain.
on our character. We need to keep
Yes,
what
yes,
we can't sit
constantly.
expecting good things to happen to us when we are emitting bad
Yes.
energy ourselves.
Exactly. You cannot sit there and admit wickedness. If I said, "A kì í gbà àwọn ìkà, ìwà tó bá wà nínú ẹni là ń hù." Nobody goes to the shop to ask for wickedness on credit. It is what is inherently in you that you release as an energy. So we have to constantly work on ourselves. So what I would say when it comes to Wakbele, which is the first tenet to work on, is that daily sit down, meditate, ask yourself, how did my day go? The people I came in contact with, could I have handled it differently? My reaction to situation, the way I spoke to people that are less privileged, people that are my subordinates, people that are my superiors, in every single second walk of our life in a day, we need to reflect on our iwapele. We have to constantly, it's like building a house. You have to constantly work on it.
So from because we're wrapping up very soon, from the
Okay.
bit that we've learned from you today, we've learned that definitely the Yoruba or African traditional way of worship or our belief system has nothing to do with worshiping evil
No,
or practicing wickedness,
no,
as
it doesn't.
sadly most people have believed or have been made to believe.
Yes.
But it's more that so basically our Isheshe, which is our traditional belief systems, is more about a lifestyle. It's about a way of life,
Yes,
how we conduct
definitely.
ourselves. So because anybody can wear any jacket, I can wear the jacket of a Muslim, I can wear the jacket of a Christian, or Jew, Buddhist, whatever. I can even wear the jacket of a Yoruba Isheshe person and
Yes,
try to make people believe that I am this good character, I'm this holy person. Whereas my character does not go with that jacket I'm adorning.
yeah.
I'm speaking in metaphor now. So
Yes, sure.
basically, what you're teaching us today is your character must match the jacket you're wearing.
Exactly. And in Isheshe, in Ifa teaches us that you cannot hide. I can't speak for other people. You cannot hide and do wickedness because Ifa will expose you. The Rumoles are not just some, as Abrahamist religion teaches us, some statue or Omboere is worshipping a statue. No, they are very living being essence, you know. So therefore, we have to understand that, these beings are not, this spirit or these deities are not deafened or blind to our actions.
Because they're spirits, they're in the spirit world,
Yes,
and we
exactly,
know that the spirit
exactly.
world doesn't die. It's this body that dies. Is us on this earth that we transition and we shed this
Yeah,
body. The soul and the spirit
and
live
that,
on. So
yeah, and that is why when we do in Ishashe, when in Ifa, when an our elder passes on, we say that awo kinku, awo manshosuni, and awo never dies, an initiate never dies. They journey on.
thank you so much. So as we're wrapping up, I also want to ask you to please just shed a little bit of light, because there are people who are very hungry to learn, very, very hungry to
Yeah.
learn, especially the younger generation, because I,
Yes.
I would say, not that I'm condemning my generation or yours or the older generation, but it's saying sometimes when people are set in their ways, it takes a conscious effort of that person on their own to
Yeah.
do a 360
Yeah.
degree and go and correct whatever anomalies that are in their lives. But us as
Indeed.
adults, especially people that are custodians of knowledge, like yourself, like me, that I'm also learning, and various, thousands of people around the world, irrespective of their
Yes.
race, in as much as they are custodians of knowledge and they are following the principles about what you said about us not only just existing, but living and obeying those laws. In other words, don't think that you can do evil and then go out there
Yeah.
and start calling on the elements to manifest money or manifest good health
Exactly.
for you. It's not going to
Exactly.
happen.
Exactly. No, it's not.
So what
And
would be
you're so right
your
in that.
because your background, ma'am?
No, I said you are so right
Was
in
this
that, princess. That is right.
yes. So with your background, as a lawyer, but also as somebody who mentored youths and worked with youth for many years, what
Yes.
would be your message to the younger generation? And it's not that we're trying to convert anybody, because nobody can convert it.
Yeah.
This thing is about conviction, your own personal conviction, and where your spirit tells you to go. But sometimes it
Yeah.
helps us when we have adequate information, about how to go about things, or where to look, or where to search, so that the
Yeah.
mistakes that our parents made, we don't make the same. So I want
Yeah.
you to please just say a few words to young people. I've seen quite a number of them that are watching with us, young people that are out there
Okay.
and that are hungry for information and the way forward. These
Yeah.
are, and I'm talking about youth that mosques have disappointed them, churches have disappointed them, imams and pastors, and they've been disappointed.
Yeah. Um, the thing is that with our youths, I really commend them because in any facet, whether in terms of spirituality, life as a whole, the law, wherever you find our youths, they ask questions. They're not like us in a sense. Let me put it that way. They ask questions and they refuse to be fed lies, for which I must commend them for. What I will say to our youths is find yourself, continue to find yourself, continue to develop yourself. As you guys seek for information, continue to do so in the right way. There are, for those that are interested in traditional way of life, there are temples such as myself and others that Princess, I will employ you to put that link that you can find out more information. Go and see for yourself, learn, question people, develop yourself, and continue to find yourself. And do not, whatever you do, let anybody define your spirituality.
Thank you so much indeed. Now, as a person who is in this very time-consuming calling, because I don't want to call it a job, but it's
Yeah,
a
it's
calling,
not. It's not a
is a
job.
ministry of some sort.
Yeah.
How do you cope with um, married life and children and
Um.
grandchildren?
Yeah. Basically, for me, I'm grateful to Ifa every day. You know, when I tell people who I am, my story, where I'm coming from, where I'm at, my own personal life that people don't get to see or hear about, they're like, "How do you do it?" Like the question you asked, but it's not me. It's Ifa, it's the Rumoles. It's about, I think, having been a trained lawyer and practicing for so long helps me to properly prioritize my time. Sometimes I am human. There's a human part of me that, will go over or not do things at that particular time. But I try to remind myself that, like I said at the beginning, it is a service to humanity. So I don't kick myself. I just sit down and work out how I do better next time. I'm grateful to my family because I have you know, I don't even have the words. They are so accommodating, so supportive, so understanding, even when I'm like, they shouldn't possibly understand, because it's just much. But it is the Rumoles that help me with my careful timing. Um, and like you said, it's not a job, it's a service to humanity, which means Ile-Ifa is never closed. You know, when something is brought to you and Ifa says this is what you have to do, then you have to do. And so it only takes people that surround you, your family, your children, that really understand your calling and are ready to join you from the beginning to the end to really support you in it. So yeah, without my family, without my Ori, without Ifa, then I'm nothing. So yeah.
Thank you so much. So we're going to wrap up now. I'm just going to quickly go over what we're going to be discussing next episode, which is next
Sorry,
week,
Princess, to
Thursday.
cut you.
Sorry, ma'am.
Because we so I'm saying sorry to interrupt you, because we started a little bit late. I didn't get a chance at the beginning because I didn't want it to run over instead of getting into the program. I just want to honor some of my elders who have been so key by name in my whole journey. Sometimes without them, I don't like using that word, but giving me a kick up the arse, maybe I wouldn't be here today. And one of them that I would like to say is our Father. I say our Father because it's not just a father to me, but a father to many. Oluwonla Sholagbade Popola. You know, I would like to, honor him by mentioning his name and thanking him for everything that he has done. Again, HRM Obaedu, Falodun Olokuntoye, Ìyá wa Ọ̀ṣunnìkẹ́ Àdùnní Oníṣọ̀pọ̀nà, HSM, His Spiritual Majesty Adifagbola, Ifarotimi Balogun, and so many of you. I'm sorry if I didn't mention all your names because
No.
there's so
I
many
mean,
of you.
we have to give
But
honor to whom honor is
yeah,
due.
yeah.
So, I
So
mean, your journey, you just didn't drop from the sky and you just had all this
yes.
knowledge
Yeah.
in you.
So
There was a journey.
yeah.
11 years is a long time to be doing what you're
Yes, it
doing.
is.
And before you got ready to start doing it, you had gone through
Yeah.
schooling, you'd gone through
Yes.
education, you've gone
Yes.
through, University of Life, and you've gone
Yes.
through Isheshe and Ifa,
Yes.
proper Ifa training. And on that note, as we're talking about IFA training, I'm going to also thank our viewers, but I also want to let them know that next week, so that they can have, an inkling to what we'll be discussing next week. But for whatever you've
Yeah.
heard this week, thank you so much, viewers. Whatever you've heard that you have any questions about, you can please type in the questions or send, to us. You can go into any of my, Princess of Arise fan page, or Yanifa, the icon, or Olabisi Obadara, Princess Moradio. Just send us whatever questions that you have or any contributions, so that we'll be able to look at it next week when we have our question and answers segment. But for the first part of the segment next week, we'll be talking about something that I believe is so powerful. We're going to be examining and unpicking and unpacking the Yoruba belief system as overview of the universe, nature, arts, science, alchemy, health, herbal remedies, beliefs, faiths, traditions versus culture, wealth versus poverty, success versus failure, relationships, sex, life, death, purpose, and all those things that make life meaningful or not, depending on what side of the coin we decide to perch on. And Yanifa would be, I'm sure she would have done her homework very well, and she'd be able to, give us a bit more, information and share with us some great
Sure.
nuggets and knowledge on this. On this note, I want to really, really thank you, Yanifa Bola Ogundari Leagu. Thank you so much. Please thank your husband Alagba for us,
I will.
that he released you to spend this much time with us and to share, knowledge. We're so grateful indeed. We pray that you continue to arise and shine, that you continue to
Ashe.
see the unseeable, to hear the inaudible,
Ashe.
and feel
Ashe.
those vibes and the vibrations and the energies that enable you to do the work that you do, particularly
Ashe.
for the coming generation, so that they can have a better life. Thank you so much indeed for being our guest and for being able to be with us for the whole 13 quarters. 13 weeks of this quarter. Thank you
13
indeed.
weeks, yeah.
Mo dúpẹ́, Olódùmarè á pọ́n yín lé. Ẹ ṣeun, ẹ ṣeun. There's some things that, unless you say it in Yoruba, it's not going to have depth. So I just want to, move so Yoruba kí n dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ yín pé ẹ ṣeun, ẹ ṣeun. Mo pè yín, ẹ jẹ́ mi. Olódùmarè á máa jẹ́ yín, Ifá á máa jẹ́ yín o, lágbára Olódùmarè. Mo dúpẹ́ fún yín, mo dúpẹ́ fún baálé yín, mo dúpẹ́ fáwọn ọmọ yín tó ń gbà yín láyè láti wá bá wa parapọ̀, láti wá bá wa sọ̀rọ̀ lónìí, tá a fi ń jomi toro ọ̀rọ̀. Nítorí pé kí ni ẹ̀kọ́ là ń kọ́ lára wa, pé kí ilé ayé wa lè dùn kó lárinrin, kí àwọn ata wà láyé ká lè rí ilé ayé gbé, ká lè rí ilé ayé ṣe. Nítorí pé àwọn àgbàlagbà máa ń sọ pé èèyàn máa ń ra ilé ayé gbé ni. Àwọn nǹkan tá a need láti ra ilé ayé yẹn, gbogbo àwọn ẹ̀kọ́ yẹn la need pé Yorùbá máa ń sọ pé ilé ayé ò le tó tó yẹn. If only would know. I'm sorry, I'm going to switch back to English because of some of our viewers saying, "What are you
And
saying?"
also, just to
You know,
just to
I'll,
um to buttress what you're saying, Princess. Sorry to interrupt you. Ifá tá a bá jí lówùúrọ̀, ó ní ọgbọ́n ni ká máa kọ́ra wa, ká má jí lówùúrọ̀ ká pilẹ̀ wèrè. So Ifá says when we wake in the morning, we should teach ourselves or aim to teach ourselves wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. Don't wake up in the morning and start, displaying madness and wasting time and life.
Thank you so much, ma'am. So thank you, viewers. Give a big high royal salute to all of you that came to join me today, my birthday. You all made my day. I'm so grateful. I'm thankful. I'm joyful. I cannot thank the universe enough for all of you, for Yanifa, for Olabisi Obadara and her team at VU. Also for my own family. I thank everybody that has supported me and encouraged me. And for people who might be thinking, maybe Princess has now turned into an Ifa priestess. Maybe Princess has backslidden. No, Princess is in a journey. She's on a journey. I want to live this life. I want to live it to the fullest. There are things that have happened in my life that I don't necessarily put out there on social media and don't necessarily discuss with people. But it has been a very interesting journey. I don't want to use the word challenging. I don't want to use the word bad it's been interesting. And therefore, every step along the way, we learn more. And each time you take that step, your spirit man opens your mind to begin to question things so that you can understand life better, understand your purpose here, understand all the elements around us, learn not to take things for granted anymore. The water that we drink and use every day, we should not take it for granted. The air that we breathe, we shouldn't take anything for granted. The people that we meet, nature, the plants that yield their crops to us, we must never take them for granted. The fish in the sea, ocean that we eat, so many things that we just think, life is there and we can just live it. No, it gets a point in our lives that we need to stop in our tracks, pause, ponder. And for me, COVID came as that bolt of lightning, even though I had been on this journey for a few years. But when something really says, boom, focus, learn and understand why you're here and why we should show kindness to each other. I was saying earlier, just a few minutes ago, that Yoruba will say, "Aye o le to to yen," which is very true. Life can be so easy depending on how we live our lives. We can't be expecting other people to show us kindness, goodness, and care if we're not reciprocating. And that is why Yanifa explained to us that the first thing that we're given, if you are Yoruba and you want to follow our belief system, the first thing that we're given is Iwa Pele, good character. Nobody's perfect. We all strive. We try. We have to put our best foot forward every day and ensure that what we're doing right. Right by us, right by the people around us, by our children, family, and the entire world at large. So thank you so much. Let me stop rambling, because when I'm talking about things like this, I get so into it. I just want to thank everybody again for signing in to be with us. If anybody misses it or has missed it, or you came in late, don't worry. Our technical crew are going to put it on again on our page and also on YouTube and on Instagram, so people can play catch up and watch the replay. So, Yanifawa, as we go, can you just lead us out with prayer? As Yorubas know, we start things with prayer, we wrap up with prayer, or with Iwuri, as we call it in Yoruba, because Iwuri is even more than prayer.
Yes,
As I've begun to learn.
We're still going to touch on that question for another time in terms of Iwuri, because it's important that we teach each other. So, in giving Iwuri again, I will do Yoruba and then I will translate in English. So bear with me. I won't take too much of your time. Elédùmarè, a dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ ẹ fún ètò tòní. A dúpẹ́ wípé a mú ọjọ́ ọjọ́ pé ẹsẹ̀ wa kò ò jẹ́ kíbi kó ṣẹlẹ̀ sẹ́nikẹ́ni bí a ṣe wá ń parí ètò yìí má ṣe jẹ́ kẹ́nikẹ́ni di òkú má ṣe jẹ́ kẹ́nikẹ́ni kó ṣìṣe orongojo lé ayé kó má ṣe lù fún kankan nu wa jó má ṣe jẹ́ kó máa ráyé fẹ́ gba fún wa lóúnjẹ gbogbo wa ohun tá a wá ń béèrè lọ́wọ́ orí wa ẹlẹ́dàá àtàràkà ṣọ́la agbéni má padà lẹ́yìn ẹni koríko wá ṣe fún wa ká má ṣe báláyé fọwọ́ tì ká má ṣe tọrọ jẹ ká má ṣe tọrọ mu gbogbo ohun tó wá máa ń ṣe ẹ̀dá ní ìpín ayé àbí ìpẹ̀rẹ̀ àbí ọ̀sán ayé ẹ̀ tí a fi gbé igbá lọ tọrọ oúnjẹ lọ́wọ́ ọ̀tá ẹ̀ kó má ṣe jẹ́ kó ṣẹlẹ̀ sí kankan nínú wa jẹ́ kó túbà kó túṣẹ́ fún gbogbo wa. Elédùmarè kò ṣàánú wa délẹ̀ lórí ọmọ lórí ara wa lórí ẹbí lórí ará tó fẹ́ wa sí rere ìrìn àjò wa báyìí má ṣe jẹ́ ká fẹsẹ̀ kọ má ṣe jẹ́ àṣìṣe o gbogbo tá a bá ti ń ṣe èní ní ọjọ́bọ̀ which is also the day tí àwọn egungun wa tí wọ́n máa ń wá bá wa wọ́n ní egungun lòrìṣà tí mi lẹ́yìn ẹni kí egungun wa kó má ṣe padà lẹ́yìn wa gbogbo tá a bá ti ń ṣe kó yọrí sí rere o èyí tá a wí lè ní báyìí kí a rọ̀ kó rọ̀ mọ́. So what I was saying in the prayer is that I give thanks. Again, sorry, I'm kind of wincing when I say that because I'm looking at the best use of words. But let's leave it like that, that I say, I give thanks to Eledumare that we set the date today and we were able to make the date. We didn't have to come on and say it's cancelled because illness happened to anyone or anyone died. So we are grateful because whoever is grateful for yesterday will surely be able to get the blessings of today. So firstly, we are grateful. And I was praying that none of us will experience madness after this show as you have listened dedicatedly and committedly and taking your time to follow this, that sickness will not befall any of your household, your children, your husbands, your wives, your spouse, and all your loved ones, that it shall be well with you always, that all that you desire from your Ori, the divine supreme being, is granted to you in accordance with your destiny. So that is my Iwuri for you all, and that it will be well with you always, that you will not go from abundance to lack and have to beg your enemies for food. Ashe.
Ashe. Ashe. Ashe. Thank you so much, ma'am. God bless you. We love you. Looking forward to the next session. It's going to get better and better. I've been seeing so many comments. I have to sit down and go through them so that we can stream them and send them to you, Yanifa, so that you can, because people want to know. That is why we're here. Once again, I want to say a big thank you to everybody. It's like 1 more minute before 9:30, and I want to be a proper broadcaster and finish on time. So, on behalf of Arize Conversations, our team at Princess of Arize, I want to say thank you again, Yanifa, for being with us. Thank you, our amazing viewers from all across the world. I've seen my friends from the Caribbean, from America, from Nigeria, Ghana, Sierra Leone, from the Congo. I've seen people from South Africa, from Angola. Wow, where all my people are. And of course, from the UK here, and definitely from Nigeria, the land where the Yoruba people come from. Thank you. God bless you all. And for all the beautiful birthday presents, thank you. Yanifa, thank you for my birthday message and the Iwuri. God bless you. So be it as you have spoken over my life. I receive and I embrace it and I imbibe it. God bless you, ma'am. Ire. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you indeed. God bless you for tuning in with us. It's Arize Conversations. This is a series that will be running for the next 12 weeks. It's a 13-week, 1 quarter series, and we'll be digging deep, finding out more about the Yoruba belief system, a journey to understanding. So I hope that you were able to come on this journey with me today. And this was my gift. I wanted to gift this to people because I have been learning as well. I've been on a journey and I've been learning. And as I said, the past year has jolted me a lot to even learn more, to read more, to research more, to listen to those that know, to those that are custodians of knowledge. And I've realized that there's a lot for us to learn. There's a lot for us to learn. It's better for us to learn, not have closed minds, get a good understanding. Once you get a good understanding, then it's left to us as individuals to choose whatever path we want. Because as you know, our creator, Yorubas call Olodumare, the English call God, the Muslims call Allah, the Jews call Yahweh, this mighty creator of the whole universe, gave only human beings free will. So you and I have the free will to choose whatever we want to do. But before we choose, it's good for us to at least imbibe knowledge. So when you imbibe knowledge, then you'll be in a position to choose and choose wisely. Thank you for making my birthday a great and amazing one. I love you all. God bless you and hope to see you again very soon. Mwah.